Hi there, Ted Arger from Marketing for Hippies, and today's video, this has been rolling around in my head for a bit. I'm not quite sure how to come to it either, but yeah, over the years I've had a lot of praise for the work that I've done, and people grateful and saying, I spent $10,000 in other marketing programs and wish I'd spent the money on this one instead. It's just a lot of praise that feeling this approach that I'm suggesting, and of course I'm not the only one suggesting it, but this approach I'm suggesting is something about the way I'm suggesting it feels very authentic. And sometimes I just get the sense that people are saying, oh, well, it must just be Ted. He's just a more authentic human being or something like this. And I saw a meme a little while ago, and it said, you don't listen to your elders because they're right so often. You listen to them because they have more experiences of being wrong. And that is certainly my experience. I worked for a leadership development company when I was 18 through, 20, 21. I did sales, and I really drank the Kool-Aid on all the high pressure, aggressive sales tactics. And I learned a lot of good marketing stuff there too. It wasn't all bad, but I certainly have a lot of remorse about the way that I was. It was mostly telesales. But how I was with people, there was a fakeness and a plasticness. So, everything that I'm contending with and criticizing in some way, it's not that I haven't done it. Gosh, I was probably worse than a lot of people. And it was hard to sleep, genuinely. It was hard to sleep those nights because I get home and just, and people, God bless them. God bless them. I think most people probably felt terrible about the way I was being with them, and they just slowly backed away, as people often do. And every once in a while you get lucky and somebody gives you some real feedback and tells you, well, here's how it was. This is the consequence and the impact of this. Yeah, so every once in a while you get lucky in that. And it doesn't make it easy to sleep because it's immensely confronting, and it's does great damage to your idea that you're a good human being, which is not a bad thing to have damage done to every once in a while. Equally this thought, I'm a bad human being. That's a good one to unsettle from time to time. But when it ossifies, if you just think, well, I'm a good person, you get real blinded to all the ways you can hurt people. So it was not good. And I eventually got out of it, partly because that business collapsed. And I ended up doing a bunch of social justice summer camps, but it really had me think about it and get some space from it. And at first, of course, I disavowed it all. I didn't really want anything to do with it. But then I did still have this draw to helping a lot of my friends, and I knew something. Because again, not everything I learned was terrible. There's some of it that really stuck, and there's a lot of that in what I teach today. But particularly around sales, a lot of the stuff didn't feel good. And it took a lot of years. Honestly, it took about a decade of wrestling with that and unpacking it, trying to see what was it. And thank God I came across some beautiful work from other colleagues. In particular, Ari Galper, unlockthegame.com, Mark Silver, his work has been a real blessing to come across. And just my own wrestlings with it, as I taught workshops and working with groups. And there's been a lot of that. Some of it I've learned from other people, some of this that I teach, it's conclusions I've come to on my own. But yeah, I guess I just wanted to record this, that any thought that anyone has of, oh, Tad just came by this naturally. No. I just failed my way into this. Yeah. A lot of the things that we see, is that your deepest wounds are often a doorway to your truest niche. And we often think about that just as in terms of, oh, well, you got hurt by people. And so, if you were hurt by people or by life, then that wound is you overcome that. You can help other people who are being hurt. But there's a flip side of it, which is sometimes you're the one doing the hurting. Sometimes you're the one that's afflicted other people. And that's its own kind of wound. I don't know, honestly, if I had to choose, would I prefer the pain of being hurt by somebody or hurting somebody? I don't know what I would choose. They're both very painful in their own ways. And so, yeah, I went through that, just, afflicting people with this style of sales and marketing that I so strongly advocate against. And maybe you're in the same boat. Maybe in your life you've done harm to other people too. But because of that, you got to see the wake that you left. You got to see the consequence, and everything that followed from what you did. If you're lucky, you got that education. And now you're a lot more reliable in that way. And I suppose it's cyclical. There's always different levels of this, and you can become very trustworthy in one area and not in another. And then hopefully over time, we just become more trustworthy human beings generally. But I did not start out trustworthy in marketing at all. My God. This is the least trustworthy. If I could go back in time, I just would not want to be on the receiving end of my 19-year-old self, full of the zeal of the newly converted, using all his, closes and marketing tactics. It would feel so awful to be on the receiving end of that. But, part of this is how I can stand so firmly in what I do. When I teach workshops, when people push back and say, but don't you think people are indecisive? Don't you think we need to close people? Don't you think we need to... All the things that come from a lot of this traditional sales stuff. When I hear that, I feel fairly, I don't want to say bulletproof on it, but I know what I'm talking about. I could say what they're trying to say better than they can say it because I was there. I did it. This isn't academic for me. This isn't something I read in a book one day and it made sense and I thought I'd start a business on it. Marketing for Hippies came out of me just being the very person I never imagined I would be in the marketing world and selling. I grew up going to Waldorf school, kind of a hippie surrounding overall, and suddenly I'm doing all this slick, slimy marketing stuff. So I know it from the inside. So people can't convince me. They can't say, but Ted, don't you think this isn't so bad? No, it's so bad. It really is. And anyways, I don't know. I just felt the desire to share that. If there's, around this whole world of marketing and sales, if there's any kind of courtesy I've learned, it's largely from my own lack of courtesy. And it came on the shoulders of other people. It was expensive to them to be on the receiving end of it. So my lack of courtesy, combined with their willingness to be honest about the impact of that lack of courtesy, combined with other people who'd figured some stuff out, came together in this business. So I don't know, maybe you're in the same boat. Maybe your business is the result of your own missteps in the past, not just ways you got stepped on, but your own stepping on other people too. And maybe that's just how it is, and then our businesses become the redemption we didn't even know we needed back in the day. As the old adage goes, we become the adults that we were looking for. Very often true. Yeah, gosh, if I could go back and sit down with my younger self, I wish I could. But if I could, you know how time travel works. I wouldn't be here making this video for you, or I wouldn't have this business that seems to have been so useful for so many people. So yeah, so maybe it's not all so bad for me, for you. And if you've got a similar story, I sure wouldn't mind hearing it below. So hope you're doing well. Take care.